If you haven't seen the previous video in this series, follow the link on your screen or click the link in the description or pinned comment below.
Movie thinks you remember the name of the goddamn island from the first movie, or give a shit.
Says the guy that damn near has a nervous breakdown when a movie won't tell him where something is. I'd like to think that people watching this movie would like to know where exactly this movie is taking place, considering the dinosaurs are just free roaming and they weren't in the last movie.
You ruin your appetite, darling. We're having prawns, your favorite.
I don't like prawns.
For God's sake, leave her alone, Deirdre.
Stereotypical way over the top rich family is stereotypically way over the top.
You saying this isn't how rich people behave and speak? Have you actually met rich people? No, 200K per year doesn't count.
Whoa, that's Camilla Bell, star of 10,000 BC and When a Stranger Calls.
Damn, I guess being cast as a young girl in a Spielberg movie doesn't guarantee a life of drugs and promiscuous sex. Only a career of middling films. Interesting.
This is Jeremy's way of going, hey, I recognize an actor. There's literally no depth or meaning to this sin.
Mother's screams about her daughter's horrifying attack are turned into a movie editing joke.
Thanks for telling us something the movie is also blatantly saying, Jer. What's next? Movie contains Jeff Goldblum playing a character, and the equally astute, there are dinosaurs in this movie.
The scientist, the guy, I saw you on TV.
Apparently, the unbelievable story of dinosaurs on an island was a big enough story for everyone on this train to know about it. If no one believed this shit in the first place, how did it become a huge story?
What actually happened was that Ian tried to go public about his experience in the first movie with a book. Peter Ludlow, the powerful and rich nephew of John Hammond, publicly discredited Ian, making him look crazy on TV. So that's how people knew Malcolm but didn't believe him. You know, like a presidential election.
Kids important to the first movie are given a token cameo in the second one, because this movie has a lot of gymnastics it needs to get out of its system that these kids can't possibly reproduce.
Or these movies are loosely based on source material, and this particular story isn't about them? I don't exactly understand the criticism here. You're upset characters from the first movie are making a cameo? The fuck?
Site B was the factory floor. That was on Ina Sauna, 80 miles from Nubla. We bred the animals there and nurtured them for a few months and then moved them into the park.
Yeah, no, you didn't. Or else you wouldn't have had eggs in the lab in the first movie, where we got to see them hatch and whatnot. You wouldn't have kept all that dino DNA on Isla Nublar either.
Not even 5 seconds before this line, John explains the lab was a front, something for tourists. You conveniently cut that part out, and it's a wonder why.
Yes, the animals won't even know they're there. Very low impact, strictly observation and documentation.
Seems like John Hammond has never heard of the observer effect.
But that literally has nothing to do with what John just said, which was that the animals won't know they're there. He didn't say there wouldn't be an impact. He explicitly states it would be low impact.
The carnivores are isolated in the interior of the island so the team can stay on the outer rim. Don't worry, Ian. I'm not making the same mistakes again.
How so?
Again, saying something the movie itself says.
Don't worry, Ian. I'm not making the same mistakes again.
No, you're making all new ones. No, you're making all new ones.
Ian Malcolm would be amazing at CinemaSins.
Wait, do you agree or disagree? Because sitting this line comes across as playing both sides of the fence, and that's just disingenuous.
Eddie Carr, who's a field equipment expert. We have our paleontologist,
who I am not revealing the name of until it's dramatic enough to do so.
The entire plot of this film revolves around Sarah going on this expedition. If she wasn't there, Ian would have never agreed to go. John doesn't say her name because Ian might have gone apeshit before he heard John's proposal. Have you never asked your mother to spend the night at a friend's house? You never lead with that. You ask if there are some chores she needs done and how her day was.
And their wee girl was injured. Oh, she's fine, she's fine.
Sure she is. That's what the blood-curdling scream from her mom told us.
Well, yeah, you've got a prissy mother whose child was being bitten by 100 chicken-sized lizards. All I'm saying is I've seen mothers screaming for less at Walmart.
So you went from capitalist to naturalist in just 4 years. That's something.
Yes, it's called forced character development.
Forced? This man is indirectly responsible for the deaths of 3 people and the ruining of Ian Malcolm's career. Him changing after the tragedy on Isla Nublar is the human thing to do. Hell, at the end of the first movie, he explicitly states that he made a mistake.
After careful consideration, I've decided not to endorse your park. So have I.
Who's the paleontologist, by the way? You didn't say.
She came to me. I want you to know this.
John plays the pronoun game, and Jesus, could you just tell him it's Julianne Moore already?
This is one of those instances where the pronoun game is entirely warranted.
You sent my girlfriend to this island alone?
And it's amazing how subtly they stuck the exposition in that line.
I agree. Why is this a sin?
She doesn't even have Sega. She's such a troglodyte.
Sega wishes this joke wasn't dated as hell.
I don't know, bro. Knights in Virtua Fighter were kicking back in 1997.
You've known her for 10 years.
Why did Malcolm ask Kelly to come all the way out here just so he could tell her she's staying at Karen's place? Is it so that she could become a stowaway and find herself on the island later?
How difficult is it to simply watch a movie that you're already watching? The dialogue reveals that Kelly's mother left her with Ian. He didn't ask for her to be there.
You like to have kids, but you just don't want to be with them, do you?
Hey, I'm not the one who dumped you here and split for Paris, so don't take it out on me.
He won't go any further up the river. He's heard too many stories about this island chain.
Why did he agree to go this far in the first place?
Money!
Las Cinco Muertes.
Both photographer and expedition planner guy seem surprised by the name of the island group that Malcolm's daughter clearly saw on board one of the RVs when she was stowing away.
Jeremy thinks that because Kelly saw something, everyone else did. Also,
They call the islands Las Cinco Muertes.
What does that mean?
Really? You mean you've never been exposed to basic Spanish your entire life?
welcome to being white. You don't have to be exposed to things because culture caters to you. This is why Eddie didn't flinch at the map. He didn't even know what it said.
Nice dinosaurs enter the picture because it's not time for the movie to be dangerous yet.
Let's examine this claim, shall we? Nope, not dangerous at all.
Hey, Nick!
Instead of being surprised by a sudden other human, Sarah goes straight into prankster mode and scares the sudden other human. Hilarious!
Or this is the movie characterizing Sarah, and with this small moment, we learn that she is free-spirited, brave, has a sense of humor, and already knows the other characters. In other words, this is the movie telling CinemaSins to eat shit 18 years before this video existed.
We're here to observe and document, not interact.
Which, by the way, is a scientific impossibility, the Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
Malcolm feels the need to inform paleontologist Sarah Harding about the Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
Aren't you the same guy who earlier tried to inform your R-word audience about the observer effect when they A, don't care, and B, don't know what the word the means?
Who started a fire?
Oh, I don't know, the daughter you completely forgot about back at the warehouse for some reason because this movie needs to prove how bad fathers are?
This makes so little sense, you're in the negatives. Ian sent Kelly to a babysitter. Why would he even think his daughter is the one place he doesn't even want to be? What the f*** are you smoking?
Movie keeps putting in all these actors who were red hot in the mid-90s, like that's not distracting as shit. I love this guy and his character, but damn, it's like the casting director looked at the list of characters for this movie, tried to narrow it down, and finally said, I will choose everyone!
Jeremy sends something he likes in a pop culture reference ex machina.
You see that distinctive dome skull? 9 inches of solid bone. How careful.
This guy was inserted into the movie so that he could Discovery Channel all the knowledge we need to know.
Yeah, but if he weren't here, you'd see a Pachycephalosaurus, have a seizure, and make a penis joke because you didn't know what it was.
No one will be seated during the Mad Max portion of the dinosaur movie. Wait, how did that work? You're saying he shot some kind of gun and it was a wire with a noose on the end and it landed perfectly on that thing's neck to be reeled in? Or was that a different gun shooting at a different animal just slash cut into this sequence to confuse me?
That's because while you were making awful Mad Max references, you missed the part where they put the noose around the Pachycephalosaurus. This person was shooting it with a tranquilizer. How are you this dumb?
Zognathus triassicus, found by Frost in Bavaria in 1913.
Does it kill anybody?
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the main reasons movie discourse is overrun with absolute fucking morons.
Super well-organized and well-funded dino capture endeavor has no one guarding the captured dinos, or even making sure they don't die and shit.
It's almost like these hunters are here to exploit these creatures and don't give a dick about them.
How long does it take for T-Rex parents to hear their child screaming? They are fiercely territorial, according to John Hammond. And earlier we heard they wouldn't leave a baby this age alone for very long. So these T-Rexes are being very compliant with the plot right now.
If you've accepted the movie's explanation for the T-Rex parents, why are you all of a sudden not accepting the movie's explanation for how long they would leave the baby unattended? They are giving you the length of time now, genius. They didn't say 5 or 10 or 20 minutes. They said not very long, and the baby has been removed from the nest, the first place the parents would think to look.
Nick, I need your hand here.
Yeah, that phone call probably isn't in any way important. It's not like we're on an island full of dinosaurs or anything.
Do you guys see what I mean? Jeremy is now speaking to the characters in the film, instead of explaining to us, his audience, why this is something wrong with The Lost World. He even says we, as if he's in the movie. He's simply watching the movie here and talking to the screen, like crazy people do during a horror film.
T-Rex is so pissed it went after a Jeep that obviously had no living things in it, and threw it because even dinosaurs know what makes a cool shot.
Or they attacked because they're dinosaurs and don't know what the f*** a Jeep is. I'm talking about you, because that was a Mercedes-Benz.
Okay, now throw the motherfucker outside already. Jake's up, people. Time for your survival.
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche. Yep, I just made a new one. Worth 5 cents, too.
She survives this just fine. Just a little scare.
Do you honestly think someone should die from an at most 15-foot fall? I'm honestly glad you're not a parent yet.
Okay, honey, make a wish.
I'm kinda salty that CinemaSins makes light of the saddest scene in the entire franchise.
Also, the T-Rexes eat the one guy who didn't really do anything to them.
Shit, neither did Nick or Sarah. They were trying to save their baby, remember?
That's why they persisted in destroying the trailers. They now feel they have to defend this entire area.
But this only occurred to them 5 minutes after they were long gone from the area, so they could kill that dude from the West Wing.
Notice how he said, this entire area, Jeremy? Unless, of course, you think entire means only this specific place.
And the Rexes may continue to track us, too, if they perceive a threat to themselves or to their infant.
No, you're wrong there, Dr. Harding.
Mainly because you're a woman. I mean, because my man knowledge...
Skip!
Taking dinosaurs off this island is the worst idea in the long, sad history of bad ideas.
Including for the movie itself, but somehow the script didn't heed that warning.
Hey man, The Lost World is better than every movie in this franchise not named Jurassic Park. 1.
As I watch this attack, I'm quickly reminded that these little bastards did this very thing to a little girl at the beginning of the movie, and she lived.
Besides the fact that this character also lived this particular instance and didn't die until later, what the hell is up with the ding sound happening while you're talking? How does something like this even happen during editing? I've made quite a few parodies of your channel at this point, and not once has it occurred to me to throw a ding in the middle of me speaking.
Blood is here to tell you that Dieter, despite fighting off the copies the first time and staying in pretty good shape, lost the will to do so once he jumped behind that log. And they worked super quickly this time.
Does this scene not remind you that you imply Dieter died the first time? Do you never think, well, this contradicts something I've already written, maybe I should delete it so I don't look like an ass? No? Well, shit.
Also, do you want ants? Because this is how you get ants. Also, you're not on a damn backyard camping trip. You're on the run from killer dinosaurs. Who even decided to pack this shit in the first place? Going to see some dinos. Don't want to forget the s'mores.
Jeremy is that one guy in every survival movie that decides you should share your food because he wasn't forward-thinking enough to bring his own. Fortunately, those guys tend to get killed first.
Oh my god! Ah! A snake!
Come on. This guy's so freaked out by a snake he forgets the T-Rex.
This dude clearly has a phobia of snakes. But yeah, irrational fears of certain things is ridiculous. Ah! A spider!
This guy is screaming at nothing until in the next shot, a raptor finally takes mercy on him and eats him so his scream wouldn't be in vain. This kind of seems like a really stupid raptor to me.
Why? Because she jumped through the glass, the same thing a human would do if it couldn't get through the door?
Raptor infighting allows Sarah to escape yet again, though I'm not sure what allowed her to survive that fall from the roof onto her back, but whatever.
Again, Sarah survives a fall that isn't near as dangerous as Jeremy is suggesting. Maybe she should have knocked the wind out of herself. But die?
They're headed into port, but I can't raise them.
So this is a decently suspenseful scene. But is the movie telling us that once the T-Rex started his rampage on the boat, no one sent out a distress signal?
Right, because the first thing I'm doing when a 40-foot-long murder machine is charging at me is looking for the distress signal.
T-Rex hangs out in San Diego. You ready for the next 15 minutes of this shit?
Yep. In fact, 1997 me was having such a great time at this point that...
How is a chlorine pool a potable water source for dinosaurs?
So let me get this straight. Jeremy thinks this T-Rex discerns whether or not its water source is potable. You know, the creature that has been presumably drinking from muddy and shitty ponds.
Who knows? Maybe just happy to see us.
Sarah's still giving human characteristics to the T-Rex.
Anthropomorphizing. Exactly what you just did a second ago.
Bus accidentally foreshadows Blockbuster Video's entire corporate future.
No, I don't think it was the Whopper. I'm pretty sure it was Netflix.